In this session, we are going to discuss about the fault extinction detection. And also, we'll discuss about the decay time, we'll discuss about the V-rated threshold, this is start, and also finally the fault extinction detected. Suppose here we have a system. In this system, A to B, we have, for example, our relay is installed here. This is a current transformer and voltage transformer into our relay. And suppose here some faults occur in the system, the ground fault, of course, because we are discussing about the ground fault and especially about sensitive ground fault. If a fault occur in our system here and just within milliseconds, 2 to 3 milliseconds, it disappears, it vanishes. So now the relay should continuously continue the function, and this relay should operate the circuit breaker behind it. No, we should have some method that we should find that now there is no fault in the system and the fault is cleared. How to detect it? Whenever the fault disappears from the system, the major factor which we use, with the major parameter which we use for operation of sensitive ground fault, that is 3I0, one of the parameter, and another parameter that we use, that is V0 or admittance. But out of all these parameters, the most sensitive is the V0 or the zero sequence voltage. When the fault disappears, this zero sequence voltage drops immediately, and from the disappearing and subside of this zero sequence voltage, we can immediately understand that the fault is extinguished. There is no fault in the system. Let's understand how this function works. We have zero sequence voltage supplied, and this zero sequence voltage, when it is below 5% of V-rated, for example, zero sequence rated is, for example, 5 volts, then whenever this voltage increases beyond the 5% of 5, how much it becomes, then this function starts to work. And we should give some decay time on the setting. We are giving 0.1 seconds. We give 0.1 seconds as a decay. It means that whenever this starts, it goes beyond 5% of rated, and it starts the function. It waits for 0.1 seconds. And if during this time of 0.1 second, this one disappears, the fault disappears in the system, and this V0 reduces, so a signal is sent into the output of this block, that is 1. The output of this block becomes 1. And here, any of the methods for the picking up which we used, that is also, for example, 1. Then a block of fault extinction detection is become on, and it shows that the fault is extinguished from the system. We don't have any fault furthermore in the system. The remaining block, that is, if we have the method of detection of the sensitive ground fault and a fault, then maybe we use the method of zero sequence voltage non-directional, of course it's non-directional, or the ground fault detection by 3I0 or zero sequence voltage, and measuring sine or cosine of the angle, sine of phi, which we discussed before, by each one of these methods, which we already discussed this on the first session. If you don't know, so refer to first session. By any of those methods, we take a pickup signal, directional or non-directional. They are or, it means any of them become on, then the output is on becomes here. If the voltage disappears and subsides, the fault extinction detection is shown to the relay and to the processor. Or we give some dropout delay. This dropout delay, we give some values of this dropout delay. As the default value of this dropout delay is 1 second. Then after 1 second of the delay, then the some of the another function it will work, that is the stabilization against intermittent ground fault. We will select that should it operate due to the intermittent ground fault or not. So if the output of this one is true, it means after stabilization, after understanding and analyzing of intermittent type of the ground fault, the output is given as a ground fault. And the next portion is related to the directional transient ground fault stage. We'll discuss it in more detail, that in the ring type of the system, in radial type of the system, which type of the system we should select for the determination of the directional transient ground fault. It means that during the transient ground fault, how should we give the settings according to the type of the system which we have. Just refer to the directional transient ground fault videos and series. On this session we will discuss more.